Borderlands is a movie. It released this weekend. It's also a game. So this is Borderlands is an adaptation of a video game, and it's done absolutely atrocious. Very, 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 very bad. So as we like to do here, obviously on the main channel as well as this podcast as well, I'd like to take a look at some of the box office because it gives us a sort of a peek behind the curtain on what the industry might be doing. And it's just interesting, these people have hundreds of millions of dollars to spend and somehow they spaff it up the wall on nonsense. So Borderlands, a movie which cost over $100 million to make, $100 million over to make. It's absolutely bombed incredibly hard. So this is an article over on Forbes. Just chuck this one together. So Deadline projected on Saturday that Borderlands was going to be on track for 8.8 million in its opening Friday to Sunday frame. That was across quite a hefty theaters as well, 3,125. Along with the film's international take of 7.7, Borderlands earned $16.5 million worldwide in its debut. Now, as the film cost somewhere in the region of $100 million, probably a little bit more than that, this film does need to make over $200 million to break even. It didn't have a massive marketing campaign because you barely saw any of it anywhere. So we can say safely that it didn't really push itself out there with a marketing campaign. So it's absolutely bombed. It's done really, really bad. It's not done very good at all. Now, they say here, adding insult to Borderlands' box office injury, is the film's production cost, which Deadline pegged to be in the $110 million to $120 million range, with an additional $30 million spent on print and advertising. So there would have been some tax rebates on there. So I think it's probably safe to say around the $100 million mark plus the $30 million for marketing. That's a $260 million break-even mark, which actually that should have been a viable option for this film. But yeah, people don't like it, as we can see here. Now, it's not just that they don't like it. It's the fact that no one could even be bothered to go and watch it because it didn't appeal to anyone at all anyway. So, there's a story. There's my rough spiel to get started. Let's go to you, Chris, first, I think. Let's get your opinion on this, dude.
Well, I haven't seen it, haven't played the game much in quite a while. And I think that one of the biggest problems is this isn't Fallout, for one, and this also isn't a series, which maybe it should have been. But I'm hearing that PG-13 was not the way to go on this. You've got people exploding into meat pieces, fireworks in the game, and they didn't go anywhere near that on this. So they couldn't do most of the jokes. They couldn't do most of the fan service that should have been expected. They went girl boss with it. I think everything that they could do wrong, they did. They didn't have young actors playing the characters. What more do you want? Here's a lesson in how to screw up a video game adaptation. You're welcome.
I don't necessarily think having Lilith as one of the leads was the bad way to go. I think it was the actress that you had playing Lilith was the primary issue there, along with, again, just how they were doing the characterization of these individuals, I think. But it's been a very long time since I played this game. I think I played this game when it actually was initially released, so a very, very long time ago now. It makes me feel very old.
15 years, I think.
God, really? Yeah. Goodness me. Good times, just like a dagger to the heart. Culture. What do you reckon of this?
It is an absolute S show for 1,000 reasons. Reason number one is the budget that we're seeing, or the estimated budget, is the initial production budget, not the actual total budget. And why do I say it that way? Because this film sat on the shelf for 2 years between the time that it shot and it went for reshoots. It took a nap It changed directors. It had a writer pulling themselves out of the credits because it was so terrible. This thing was not good, and again, you had this thing starting out with a
It was
perfect
3 years, actually, just as an FYI.
Oh, that's true, actually. But no, this thing had a perfect 0 going until Grace screwed me up. Decided to give it a okay rating. I don't know what's wrong with her. But beyond all of that, this thing will never find a profit. They can't give this film away. Nobody is going to see it. When I checked earlier today, one of the theaters had 1 person in it.
Wow.
And there were no other seats sold for the other 2 screenings that I looked at. It's good. It was good without going overboard. Somebody needs help. Anyway, but like you said, I mean, I'm not surprised, and I'm not surprised on the follow-up news that we'll cover as well. But this thing is cause for alarm in the industry, because there's a decent chance that they still have a steamer trunk full of films like this that they are just getting ready to release. And I think, Chris, you were correct. I mean, Girl Boss was not a plan that they should have followed.
Yeah.
I think it's important. Lilith is one of the main characters in the
I
video
understand.
game. She's not an issue. It's how they play her.
Right. Yeah. Girl bossing plus too old.
Right. So I think it's important just to make that distinction, because otherwise people.
How old do you think? How old was the character? Would you guess in the game?
30s,
30s. Yeah. 30s? Yeah. I think early 30s.
Probably.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this comment in particular on Rotten Tomatoes. This filthy thing doesn't deserve half a star. How is it possible to spend the money to make this and then let it go to the cinema? Even the actors don't help this horror, which isn't even comparable to Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Wow.
And I just spotted that, and it just made me laugh. So I thought we'd have to read that out for everyone.
Well, and in brevity, that one from Christopher was brilliant. From casting to completion. Yeah. Disaster from casting to completion. There you go.
We can no longer trust Luke S on any movie review ever again. You've just committed.
Whoever Luke S is, hang your head in shame.
Best movie ever. Okay. Good one.
Goodness.
Smiley face. You forgot the smiley face.
Yeah, gotta throw that in.
When you add a smiley face to things, it significantly increases the chances of being sarcasm as well.
Oh yeah. Well, they threw 5 stars at it, but all right.
I know. Not really sarcasm.
Kind of hurt promotions for the video game. Aren't they coming out with a new sequel?
They were talking about. They've been talking about 4. But what's really funny is this was a co-production with Gearbox Software.
Yeah,
and that comes along with its own conversation, which we'll get to, I'm sure, soon enough. But I don't know. First of all, films almost never recover from early disasters like this.
No, not like this. This will. I mean, there's nothing even that Lionsgate will be able to do on the secondary markets, right? So they're not going to be able to sell this to anyone to recoup some of that. Like, this is a straight up big loss. Big
That's
loss.
Fine. They're returning to form.
I mean, I don't care. It's fine to me. I couldn't care less, but yeah.
No sequel is what you guys are saying.
No, I don't think so. But this could have been good. This could have been good.
Yeah, but they were setting this up for sequels. That's the thing, Chris. They wanted much more films.
Did you watch it?
Huh?
Did you watch it?
No, I've only seen the bits of the cam thing.
Then how do you know that they're setting it up for sequels?
Because it was actually reported on a couple of different locations.
All right. Well, there you go. Anything else to add? Or shall we move on from this travesty of film?
I don't know that we can, but sure. Are we saving Nick's favorite stories?
Can we just move from segment to segment first, and you can just
okay.
Nick's not here, so it's all right. Let me smoothly move with this stuff. You're messing with my flow here.
Oh, okay.
Outrageous. Absolutely outrageous.
You're a little hot.
I'm very hot. It's incredibly sweaty in my office. Thank you very much. So yes, I am. My back hurts a little bit as well. So yes, I am. Yeah, not